think I would be quite justified to premise this video with the acknowledgement that there are no good photos in it. I did my best to have good photos in this video, but after scanning all the pictures, there are no good pictures. So hopefully the video itself is still fun. Pictures aren't great, but that's part of why you take pictures. It's not to necessarily take a good picture, it's to try to take a good picture. And along the path to take good pictures, you're going to take lots of bad pictures, which this video is a great example of. So with that said, I hope you don't mind some bad pictures. I hope the video itself is entertaining enough to counterbalance the fact that the pictures aren't that great. But that's enough for me. Please enjoy Krakow, because I know I did. You are currently sitting on a park bench and I am currently very cold. Now, we got here a few hours ago around 4:30 and by that time it's already dark. That means we're going to spend this evening trying to get some low light night photos with this camera, and then we'll have all of tomorrow to try to get some shots in the daylight. So, welcome to Krakow. Let's go see what there is. I'm trying to do night photography without a tripod. This is the kind of stuff I gotta do. I gotta find nice positions to prop my camera up and kind of just pray it's angled properly. Otherwise it's way too slow shutter speed to hold it, right? So I have to set the timer on this, let it sit still for a few seconds to take the picture. Special thank you to our Polish friend Michal for giving us some activity and food recommendations for this trip. So we're back in the daylight, and the first thing I think we're doing is going to the castle, because I feel like that's the first thing I often do when I come to these cities. We are in front of the, I'm going to say Wawel? Actually, I'll look it up quickly. W-A-W-E-L. I'm going to say Wawel Castle. First thing that stands out about it is that it's quite colorful compared to some other castles I've seen. Like, it has some red, it has some white, it has some gray, different tones of red, which kind of suggests either it's been rebuilt a lot or expanded a lot. And looking it up, it seems like the first remnants of it are from the 10th century or 970, and it is apparently the 20th most visited art museum in the world, which I would not expect just randomly find in Krakow, but yeah, cool. So this castle is not the only thing I've learned a lot about in the past day. I learned a surprising amount about Krakow strip clubs, and believe it or not, it's not because I've been to many strip clubs, but it's because all over the hostel are signs saying all strip clubs are scams. So I was curious about this, why it was so prevalent in terms of these signs. So I was talking to someone at the hostel, and they were saying apparently how it works is you go to these strip clubs and they have free drinks, and those drinks are typically spiked with something. So as soon as you have the first drink, you start to feel sick and out of it, and then while you're out of it, they max out your credit cards, and then a few hours later kind of just throw you on the street and wait for you to come back to. And apparently it happens often enough that the hostel felt like warning all of its patrons. So if you come to Krakow, I don't recommend the strip clubs. But But what I can recommend is this park they have sort of surrounding the old city. It's really nice, really cute, and just grabbing a coffee, walking around here, love it. So booking where to stay for Krakow, in the city center, 4 hostels came up for me, all of which were party hostels, which is kind of wild, but the one I'm in now I like quite a bit, so that worked out well. But when it comes to picking the rooms within the hostel, it's always a trade-off, because you can either go with less people at a higher cost or more people at a lower cost. And if you go with more people, the upside is the chance that you meet someone cool is higher. Obviously it's typically cheaper. The downside is when you're in a room with like 12 to 16 people, the risk that someone's snoring, the risk of something negative happening, I feel is higher. But if you pick less people, it's a bit more expensive. You run the risk of the less people that you have in your room, the less likely you'll meet someone you want to hang out with. So always a trade-off. Days I feel a bit more into wandering around alone, I'll go with the smaller rooms, but days I feel a bit more social, I'll take the chance of someone snoring all night for the better chance of meeting some cool people. Pretty bundled up now given the temperatures dropping again, but this area is the old Jewish quarter. It's probably worth recognizing that Auschwitz is only about an hour and a half from here, from the city, and obviously a lot of people who were sent there, a lot of people who were living here before would have been sent there, which is pretty crazy to think about, just because I think you get taught about these things in Canadian grade school or Canadian public schools, and they feel so like foreign and distant. Then you travel and you come here, and Auschwitz goes from this crazy thing that you read about in your textbook to only being like an hour away. That would make for a nice photo, so I think I'm just gonna have to set up the camera on the ground and hope that I can frame it right, even without really being able to look through the camera that much. It's gonna be on the ground, but let's see what we can do. I don't know why I was so invested in that particular picture and tried taking it 3 times. I just feel like I really like single light source photos, and I really just like the look and aesthetic of that little courtyard area. So fingers crossed one of the 3 looks okay. Welcome to our 3rd and final day in Krakow. And you know, early in this video, I was ranting to you about how the upside of having smaller hostel rooms means there's less of a chance of having someone who snores in your room. Well, that didn't matter at all last night, because in my 6-person room, 3 people were snoring, which sounded like this. And one of those 3, I can only assume was fighting for his life in his dreams, because he was suffocating. I think every like 20 seconds he would almost sound like he was waking himself up. So we didn't sleep too well last night, but already had some coffee and a pastry. Now we're walking around this gorgeous park that surrounds the city, which I'm a big fan of. I think it's my favorite thing about Krakow so far. And also for our last day, we're blessed with some beautiful blue skies. Mostly blue skies. I'd call that blue skies. It's okay guys, I'm just walking through, no stress. Jeez, what was that about? One thing that surprised me that I want to point out is how good Polish food is. Now, there's a caveat, I've only had 2 Polish dishes, but they were both great and exactly the kind of food that I'm into. I went to a place called Moskioko, I'm not sure. But I got 2 things from there and both of them were amazing. So if you find yourself in Krakow, I'd say go to that restaurant because people were really nice there and the food was great and not too expensive. So it was like 10 euro, 10, 12 euro. Also, today was a great example of why I love to check out the film shops of everywhere I travel, because I went to a film shop here, a really nice guy inside, and they had one roll I had never seen before, some old color film I didn't recognize that is expired that I haven't used before, and some Tri-X black and white film that's also expired. So. So we've made it to the train station with about 30 minutes to spare. Oh, train. Oh, there's another train. You're gonna be surprised, I am at a train station. There will be lots of trains around. I want to take this moment to appreciate the usefulness of portable chargers. So if you're traveling, don't be bummed like I was for the past several trips, and invest in a good portable battery. It just makes your life less stressful. And not too expensive. This one was 20 euro, 25 euro. You can just chill here by the trains. About a 7-hour train ride, I think, back to Vienna.